Ann Romney giving the major speech on Tuesday night for the Republicans. Her main job is to humanize Mitt Romney. And, of course, also a big part of what she's supposed to do is get women on his side. Now, is she going to talk about any policies they have in regards to women's rights? Absolutely not, because they don't have any good policies towards women's rights. They don't even want equal pay. They don't want the Lilly Ledbetter Act, let alone reproductive rights, etc. So, shh. But what they have to do is say, oh, Mitt Romney's such a swell guy. He was terrific to his wife. Well, I mean, I hope so. Of course. And, in terms of making her the average person, I know the mainstream press has to say incredibly nice things about her. She's the first, the wife of the guy who's running for president on a major ticket. She had a couple of serious illnesses, etc. So they're all going to be sweet to her. But I got to keep it real with you. I thought she looked like the richest person in the world, again. And I thought her stories where she was supposed to relate with the American people came across as totally unbelievable. We had run the Costco clip for you guys earlier when she comes out and says, oh, yeah, we shop at Costco, got some shirts for Mitt Romney there. Oh, come on, man, come on, nobody's buying it. And she kept talking about how she met Mitt Romney at the dance, and okay. And then she talked about how they lived in a basement when they were first married. But that was of your own choice. Mitt Romney's dad was a multi-millionaire. You didn't have to live in the basement. I mean, it's a fine moment right there. But don't pretend that Mitt Romney had it tough and pulled himself up by the bootstraps. He didn't have it tough. And then later, as I'm about to show you in the clips, the whole fake story about how he started his own small business, that's not true at all. And then when it came to pandering to women, boy, was she over the top. Watch this.
It's the moms who have always had to work a little harder to make everything right. It's the moms of this nation, single, married, widowed, who really hold this country together. We're the mothers. We're the wives. We're the grandmothers. We're the big sisters. We're the little sisters, and we are the daughters. You know it's true, don't you?
Wow. Okay, yeah, everyone knows it's true. How bold.
I love you,
Go. It's so over the top. You're not just supposed to say it, right? You're supposed to leave that feeling with the audience like, man, she really gets us. But they're Republicans. Okay, what am I supposed to? I love you, women. And then they got these pictures of these fake posters of we love you, and it appeared to be handwritten, but there was like 30 of them that looked identical. Oh, fail. Okay? So this is not a substitute for real policies that help women in America. Well, will you look at that? They all seem to draw those signs in the same exact way. Boy, that looks really authentic. Come on, man. It's so unbelievable. But yet, if you turn on your television after that speech, almost everybody covering it outside of me, it was like, hey, you know what? Oh, my God, what a moving speech. In fact, I want to move up to that. CNN's Aaron Burnett was talking to Wolf Blitzer. This is unbelievable. Okay, watch her, watch.
He made a surprise appearance here in the convention hall to watch his wife, and her speech was just one of the many memorable moments, and I have to say this, Wolf, I think when he came out, there was something about it, her talking about his love for him. I had a tear in my eye. I think a lot of people did, just seeing the love.
Really? Really? A tear in your eye from that incredibly plastic speech? All right. But, if anyone can relate to Ann Romney, it's Aaron Burnett. She's also married to a multimillionaire, and so they might know the love that comes between people who are fabulously wealthy and were incredibly wealthy to begin with. So, I don't know if it worked for the average mom in Missouri, but Aaron Burnett was like, oh, yes, I remember when I met my multimillionaire husband. Okay, well, that might make other women cry, too. So, now she turns to how you can trust Mitt Romney and how he's going to deliver. Let's watch.
Let me say this to every American who is thinking about who should be our next president. No one will work harder. No one will care more. And no one will move heaven and earth like Mitt Romney to make this country a better place to live.
Now, he will not fail, right? That was one of the themes of her message out there. But the question is, who will he not fail for? Because, Mitt Romney has had success in his career. Let's keep it real, right? And so he delivered for his investors. He delivered for his partners. He delivered for himself. Now, he didn't deliver for the workers of those companies, because oftentimes they would shut those companies down. They'd fire everybody, take away their pensions, etc. Now, they still made a profit while they did that. So the question is, who is Mitt Romney delivering for? So if you think he's going to deliver for the average guy in America, that's a good one. But if you're talking about his donors, who are the people who he owes, well then she's absolutely right. Mitt Romney will not fail. Big donors in America, you can trust Mitt Romney. The minute he gets in office, he's going to give you giant tax breaks, enormous deregulation. So if you're in the oil business and coal business, you can pollute. If you're in the banking business, you can take larger risks with your financial products. So Mitt Romney will deliver on that count. That's reality. All right, now she's going to go on to explain about how they just started a small business when they were younger.
Mitt will be the first to tell you that he is the most fortunate man in the world. He had 2 loving parents who gave him strong values and taught him the value of work. He had the chance to get the education his father never had. But as his partner on this amazing journey, I can tell you Mitt Romney was not handed success. He built it.
What's with Republicans and punchlines? He built it! Okay, I know, I got it. You got the big signs in the background, etc. Which, by the way, is nonsense. So here's the part that isn't true. She explained in the speech that, oh my God, he took risks with a small group of friends and started their own business, and it was so risky, but he did it anyway, like an American entrepreneur. Not true. He worked at Bain Consulting. The head of Bain Consulting came to him, Mr. Bain, and said, hey, you know what? I want you to start Bain Capital. I'm going to give you some of the money for it. I'm going to put you in charge of it. Mitt Romney said, not good enough. I don't want to take any risk. In case this thing goes south, and he's the one running it, by the way, I still want to be able to come back into Bain Consulting. And not only do I want to come back in, I want to keep my salary and want to get every raise I would have gotten at Bain Consulting in those years. Plus, that's not enough. If things go south, you have to give me a cover story. This is reported. It was reporters who went and talked to the guy who ran Bain, Mr. Bain. He's the one that tells this story. He says, you have to give me a cover story saying that, oh, I'm such an important consultant that you needed me back at Bain Consulting. And then he went and raised money from incredibly rich people, including, some questionable people in Latin America. There's been stories written about that, etc. Now, look, you can give them the success in terms of the tremendous profits that they made at Bain Capital. But this idea that they started a small business in their basement with a couple of friends is just fiction. Totally fiction. He started with an incredibly rich guy who he already worked for with almost no downside. That isn't risk. So they make up this story to try to relate to you, because the reality is he grew up in a family of multimillionaires, was handed Bain Capital by Mr. Bain with almost no risk, and then did well with it. But they can't leave well enough alone. That's their problem. And now here comes Ann Romney telling you that despite all of these lies, believe me, you should trust them.
I can only stand here tonight as a wife and a mother and a grandmother, an American, and make you this solemn commitment. This man will not fail. This man will not let us down. This man will lift up America. This is our country. This is our future. These are our children and grandchildren. You can trust Mitt.
Now, I'm going to keep it real on 2 counts here. Now, first of all, let's also give her a little bit of credit here, because I thought for sure she was going to play the MS card. That, she went through some serious illnesses, and I thought she was going to talk about that and how Mitt Romney was on her side and use that whole emotional, and it's not even fair to call it a trick. It really happened, right? But I always feel that gives me a weird feeling in my stomach when anybody does that, whether they're Democrats or Republicans. But she didn't do that, okay? So she didn't go in that direction, which I think she deserves a lot of credit for. And like I told you, it's a tough situation to be put in. She's not a professional politician. She comes in and gives this speech, and everybody expects her to knock it out of the park right out of the gate, and it's a tough thing. But look, and the third way of keeping it real is that I might be wrong. Maybe people responded well to that. We'll see how, you know, the numbers play out. Her popularity was already slipping before she gave the speech. I don't know how it will be after the speech. But I looked at it, and it didn't come across to me as authentic. Maybe it's because I know all the backstories, and I know that a lot of what she's saying about the background is not true. But as I looked at it, I thought, if you're an average guy or woman, more importantly in this case and in this context, sitting at your home, wherever you are, New Jersey, Missouri, Hawaii, looking at that speech, do you really think, like, you know, her and her husband, they really are looking out for me? I don't think so. So in that sense, I don't think she got done what she was supposed to get done, which is ignore our policies about women and look at how lovely Ann Romney is talking about women and how you can trust men and go ahead and vote for us. I don't think it's going to work.